So have you seen the slide that was shared?
Uh,
As we all
Yeah,
have
good
the
morning.
good morning. Do you have access to the slide, the material that was shared?
Yes, it's this.
yes, sir.
Okay,
Sir.
okay, let's quickly commence our lecture because we can't predict network and it's raining heavily here a bit. Okay, to start with, uh, I pray God will give us the spirit of knowledge, wisdom, retentive memory, and grant all our effort with success. So we have about let me say three or four topics to look at, and this is what we can do justice to the next 2 hours, 1.5 hours, or thereafter. So let's just pay attention, let our mind be here because we have sacrificed this time, so automatically we must have something to gain. So our first topic that we are dealing with is the strategic clock analysis. That is the first topic, strategic clock analysis. This topic is a very interesting topic that we have a lot of things to learn. It's beyond exam. It even shows us how companies gain competitive advantage using combination of strategies and many more. And ICAN often set it in exam. They like the topic. The topic is being tested regularly. Even last diet exam in CSME, it came out too. So let's look at the strategic clock analysis together. So in a very simplified form, to start with, the strategic clock analysis was formulated or suggested by Bowman in 1996 as a way of looking at combination of price and perceived benefit. So that statement informs us that the strategic clock analysis was postulated or formulated in 1996 by a strategic management scholar that we call Bowman. And he called this strategy a combination strategy. Why is it called a combination strategy? It is called a combination strategy because it involves the use of price and any other strategy of choice to create value to the customer and gain competitive advantage. So when we proceed further, we are going to realize that this strategy approach assumes that competitive advantage is achieved if a firm supply customers wants better than its competitors. Because what the customers want is that customers want consists of combination of cost and quality. So with the use of this strategy, we can gain competitive advantage, we can create positive value impression about our brand. With the use of this strategy, to all our existing customers that have been buying our product, we can increase the value and perceptions about our products, the quality and the benefit. Because the scholar informs us that what the customers want is that the customers want a combination of cost and quality. That cost means that the price at which they are buying, they don't mind it. You can buy at a premium price. Whatever cost or price at which they buy, they want quality, value for the money they are spending. They don't want to experience any regret or buying the company's product instead of buying alternative products that are available in the market. So what is the purpose of the strategic clock analysis? I've emphasized this. The purpose of the strategic analysis is that the two key factors in providing value to customers are the price of the products or services and the benefit that the customers believe the product will provide. So that means the purpose of strategic clock analysis is to create value to our customers using price and other strategy so that the customers can gain benefit and satisfaction from their purchase decision. So at the same time, the purpose of the strategic clock analysis is to gain competitive advantage, because by the time we use price and other strategy, maybe price and differentiation strategy, for instance, now we sell at a reasonable price and we produce innovative or differentiated strategy as differentiated product. Sorry, we have used two strategy now. That one we now create value. It will meet and create favorable post-purchase satisfaction to our customers. So achieving competitive advantage can only be gained if our product or the strategy that we put in place create positive satisfaction, create favorable post-purchase experience for the customers. So apart from gaining competitive advantage, increasing or creating perceived value about our product and making the customers happy, look at another purpose of strategic clock analysis. The strategic clock is used to assess the business strategy of competitors. I mean, this strategy aids benchmarking. We can use it to assess the pricing strategy of our competitors, the promotional strategy of our competitors, and some other strategies that they are using, including their CSF, critical success factor. So this strategy is all encompassing. So the drawing of the strategic clock analysis is what you are seeing on the screen. The examiner will not ask you to draw, but it is important that you know that you must draw in the exam once this topic is tested by the examiner. And each of these strategies that you are seeing in form of clock, in number one strategy, no free strategy; number two strategy, low price strategy; number three, hybrid strategy; four, differentiation strategy; number five strategy, differentiation focus strategy; number six, strategy that fails. Except number six strategy that the scholar says that company should not use, and I reason with him. But if you use that number six strategy, it will only give you immediate gains, immediate competitive advantage. At the short, medium, and long run, it will create negative effects for the company. So all these strategies that you are seeing give the company different benefits and assist us to create value to customers with landmark competitive advantage. So let's now look at all these strategies one by one. You can see here, I put it that the five broad groups of business strategy that provide competitive advantage are: one, no frakes strategy. That is in a position one of the clock. That drawing that we look at not quite long. The second strategy is low price strategy, is in position two of the diagram. The third one, differentiation strategy. Sorry, that one is in position four. Hybrid strategy is in position three, while differentiation focus strategy is in position five. And you should know that the sixth strategy is strategy that fail, or we can call it the strategy that offer no benefits to the firm. And the scholar said that we should refrain from this strategy. It is not advisable we should adopt it, not to think of implementing the strategy, because it will backfire at the long run. So the first one, no freak strategy. No freaks strategy. That is position one of the clock. Why do we call it a no free strategy? A no free strategy is to offer a product or services at a low price and with low perceived benefit. The literary meaning of that is that a no-free strategy occur when a company sell a below average product at a lower price. Please help me to jot this down so that one will cater for this interpretation that we have here, that a no-free strategy occur when we offer a product or services at a low price and with low perceived benefit. That low perceived benefit is what I interpreted for you. That you should put it down that a no free strategy occur when a company offer a below average product at a lower price. So this strategy that we are seeing, we use it to attract customers who are price conscious, price sensitive, and are happy to buy a basic product at the lowest possible price. And that is what is happening in Nigeria market and industry now. A lot of companies has reduced the quality of their products because they don't want to increase the price of their product at this sensitive time when the economy is biting seriously, when Nigeria economy is experiencing hyperinflation. Before it was galloping inflation, now we are experiencing hyperinflation. So attempt for companies to increase the price of their products unnecessarily at this moment, and particularly when other competitors did not increase, then you lose all the customers. So tactically, when you look at most of the goods that you are buying now, presently, all companies are using no free strategy, mostly for consumable products, because they have reduced the quality of the product. Some, they reduce the size of the product instead of increasing the price. Even in the airline industry, we can see what the incidents that happen, the IBOM airlines and whatever. These are some of the airlines that people patronize, that their price is reasonable. They use no free strategy. But by the time you patronize all these established brands, the price are just too outrageous. So no free strategy occur when a company offer a basic product or services at a lower price. And this one will give us opportunity to win more customers. It will give us opportunity to retain our existing customers, because the price at which they are buying, they can't see it elsewhere, despite the fact that we reduce the quality of the product a bit. The second one is low price strategy. Low price strategy, that is position 2 of the clock. With a low price strategy, customers perceive that the product or services give average or normal benefit. As a result of that, the more they perceive it as a average product, it is not regarded as a low quality product. But that notwithstanding, what happened to the price? The price, however, is low as compared with similar products in the market. So what you should know here is that the major difference between 1 o'clock strategy, that is position 1, which is no free strategy, and 2 o'clock strategy, which is low price strategy, is that the low price strategy will offer a average product at a lower price. That is what we call low price strategy. But for no free strategy, we offer a below average product in terms of quality at a lower price. That means position 2 now, the quality of the product that we are selling at a lower price in position 2, that quality is higher than the one we are selling in position 1. That is the major difference there. And for us to achieve this our position 2, selling a average product at a lower price, then the companies have to put in place a very proactive strategic measure. We have to ensure that our operational costs, overhead expenses, waste management and everything has to be reduced. Because if we cannot be able to produce at a lower price, there is no way we can be able to sell an average product at a low price. So we have to ensure that all our operating expenses, overhead expenses, distribution expenses, service delivery expenses, overhead expenses, rentages, and many more, we streamline all these costs so that we can be able to offer a average product at a lower price to our customers, because we must not do it at a loss. So the third strategy that Bowman talks about, that is position 3 o'clock strategy. He call it hybrid strategy. The more we know that hybrid means two, automatically we have already know what the man is trying to say here. So a hybrid strategy involves the use of two strategies. Two. And out of that two strategy, please, you must inform the examiner that price is constant. Because from the beginning you can see, even if you read literatures about this strategy, some might be 18 pages, 20 pages, more than that. I've seen like that. The summary of everything is what I'm telling you. And no literature, be it empirical or conceptual, will go against it or inform you otherwise that price is not constant. So when you are using hybrid strategy, we are informing you that it involves the use of two strategies to create value to customers, create customer satisfaction, and gain competitive advantage. So that two strategy involve the use of price and any strategy of choice that the company like and which is approved by the board of directors. So let's proceed further and see. A hybrid strategy involves selling the product or services that combines higher than average benefit to customers and at a below average selling price. So this strategy involves the use of price and any strategy of choice. You can see the example I put here. The example says that a company try to achieve a mix between a low price strategy and a differentiation strategy. That is hybrid. We sell at a penetration price, lower price or reasonable price, and the product that we offer is a differentiated product. The next one is differentiation strategy, position 4. That is 4 o'clock strategy. So why do we call it a differentiation strategy? A differentiation strategy occur when a company produce a unique and different product that is quite different from all existing products in the market. So anytime the company invests in innovation, research and development, and they now embark on new product development, they are successful in producing a product that has a unique benefit, a product that is different from all other competitors' products in the market, then we say that company produce or embark on differentiation strategy. This differentiation strategy is beneficial to companies, irrespective of the size of the company, be it conglomerate organization, multinational company, small and medium-scale enterprises, individual business, that is sole proprietorship, partnership business. Ability to offer something different that the customers can perceive truly as different, give you edge over other competitors. Because the more the customers perceive it as unique and different, standardized, they patronize you and you have the opportunity to sell at a premium price. Go and check it. All innovative and differentiated products or special service delivery, company offer them at premium price. They sell it at higher price. And customers don't mind. to pay for that premium price because of that perceived difference and benefit the product will offer. So the rationale for selling at a premium price for a differentiated product is for us to increase the value of the product. Differentiated and innovative product must be sold at a higher price to increase the value of the product, to increase the brand equity, brand quality, brand positioning, brand value, brand acceptability. And we must sell at a higher price because other competitors will be running up and down to uncover our trade secrets. They want to produce similar products. Before they have a breakthrough, despite the fact that we don't pray for that, we'll have recovered our, because government in this part of the globe that we have, Nigeria, hardly you see complaints that they will give patent rights, except those people that have political affiliates, that the likes of Dangote, Bua, and what have you, that they enjoy government support, and they give them monopoly in some industry where they operate. So that selling at a premium price will give us opportunity to achieve high return on investment, high return on capital employed. So we can be able to recover our cost of investment and make landmark profits. So differentiation strategy require producing a differentiated product that we offer to the entire market. The 5 o'clock strategy, the fifth strategy, is called differentiation focus strategy. And if you call it focus differentiation strategy, as we are seeing it, it's the same thing. Why do we call it a focus differentiation strategy? A focus differentiation strategy is to sell differentiated and innovative products that offer above average benefit, above average benefit to our customers. And when you see this product that offer above average benefit is not for the consumption of the entire market, but for specific class of customers, for specific class of customers, and not the total market segment that we have. So what we are saying here is that a company differentiate their products and tailor that product to certain classes of customers. So with a differentiator focus, you should have it in mind that the company specifically produce that product for certain categories of customers. They have done their market survey, they have carried out their marketing research, they have identified a gap. For them to fill that gap and exploit the opportunity in the market, they specifically produce a product that they focus in selling to certain categories of customers. So anytime you have this product, breakthrough to have a differentiated product that you tailor towards certain categories of customer, then automatically the company must charge a premium price. You can see products in this category, that is differentiated focus, are often strongly branded as premium products so that their high price can be justified. A differentiated focus product must be sold at a higher price. Like for instance, a good example now, we have various schools here and there in Nigeria, across the entire state or nation generally. We have primary school, secondary school, polytechnic, technical school, universities, and college of education, and the rest. If we as an investors in equity, and you that you are listening to me, you have the financial resources. So instead of going to all these primary, secondary, whatever school, we now decided to establish our own school for physically challenged students. Establish school for physically challenged students is a profitable business. And you can see that it's a different class of school. that focus on physically challenged students. And we charge a premium price for that. The prices will be higher. Those parents that have such challenges, I call it challenges because at times nobody pray for that. You discover that life can be unkind to mankind at times. So they would love to bring their children into that place and pay the premium price. So the 6 o'clock strategy that you and I we are being advised to avoid using, we call them strategies that fails. They are the strategies that offer no competitive benefit. Whoever that is doing it now that is saying that is making profit, laughing, rejoicing, that person will cry later because this strategy have adverse negative long effects on the company. Not in time of losing customers alone, losing profit, it weaken your competitive position. It will damage the reputation of the company. So among this strategy that we must avoid that fall under the 6 o'clock strategy are price fixing, price fixing that we also call price cartel. When we have two, three, four suppliers coming together to fix a price in a way to exploit the customers and frustrate other existing competitors. It is punishable under law, even in Nigeria. Another strategy that fails hoarding of goods with the aim of creating artificial scarcity and increasing the price is punishable under law. Tax evasion is a strategy that fails. Another one is selling of obsolete products. Obsolete products are unwholesome products that are not fit for consumption. We call them obsolete products because they are expired products, products that have reached their expiration. Or some products at times due to inefficiency of the storekeeper, inability to use the LIFO and FIFO, last in, first out, first in, first out, they allow some product to overstay in the store. This can make the product to become obsolete. Then this kind of products, we dispose them as a waste rather than turning it, processing it for the consumption of the larger populace. It can endanger their health. Another one is overpricing of low quality products. When you overprice your products, it will discourage your customers from further patronage, particularly when they discover that other competitors offer reasonable price or prices. Added to that is what we call greenwashing phenomenon. Greenwashing too is bad for business. It's bad for business and it will scare away your customers and investors when discovered. So we have succeeded in looking at the six strategy that was formulated by Bowman, and he called it strategic clock analysis. In line with that strategic clock analysis, ICAN will test it with principle of strategic positioning. They have done that. I think in 2020, in CSME, they test both strategic clock analysis and the six principle of strategic positioning. They will ask you that using the six principle of strategic positioning, you should highlight how effective is the strategy of the company. Did the company really use strategic clock analysis and this principle of strategic position? So let's proceed. The Porter six principles of strategic positioning. So with these six principles, Porter said that we can gain additional sustainable competitive advantage. You can see he used the word sustainable, that the competitive advantage that will last longer and not only in the short run. He said the first principle of strategic positioning, or the first principle that we can use to gain competitive advantage, is this: the strategic goal for a company should be to achieve a superior long-time return on investment. That's the first principle. He said any company that have been duly registered, your goal should be to set a long-time return on investment, ROI. That should be your primary, broad and general goals. Any other thing can now follow. You should focus on achieving long-time return on investment and profitability. Even inform us that we have some companies that they have strategic myopia, in that their own objective is that they only focus on increasing the market share of their products, increasing the market share of their products. They just want to win customers at all costs without thinking of the profitability and how they can recoup their cost on investment and have favorable sales returns. So inform us that it is not at all time that maximizing market share and sales volume will bring return on investment. So he said the company strategic goal should be to achieve a superior long-term return on investment. So the point I emphasize as the second point is this: a company should not select as a strategic goal. You must not select a strategic goal or any other objective such as maximizing sales volume or maximizing market share on the assumption that profit will result from this. He said, no, it is not at all time. We have instances like that occur truly. He said, maximizing sales or market share does not necessarily provide a superior return on investment. The second principle, once we have set a long time goals on return on investment, the second principle is that the strategy must offer a unique value for the customers. Any strategy that we are using must offer value for the customers, must increase the perceived value of our customers. For instance, we said hybrid strategy, using price and offering differentiated products, or using price and offering innovative products. This one will give a value proposition to customers. And that value proposition should be for the entire customers in the market that purchase our products. Number three principle three, there should also be a distinctive value chain, because a company should perform similar activities to competitors, but in a different way that offer customers more value. So the experience that we have uh, in the airline industry of recent, we never know. Maybe that is what ICAN will use as a case scenario under this topic, because agreed that the two customers violated the lay down policy, rules and regulation of the airline. The way and manner we manage our customers too is not good. If it is an advanced country, that complaints are out of business. There is tendency that both customers who might have sanctions in one way after critical evaluation and investigation. Do you get it? Like the first case that we have, the value jet now. It takes the grace of God to save the life of that customers, be it Waswainde, because it remains an inch for that aircraft to hit him. Just an inch like this, it's gone. For that lady that they cause her monumental tears, regrets, embarrassment for life. You can see her nude in the public. No amount of money that they will give her now will redeem the image. A lot of people have used that nakedness to fund stickers, to do this, to do that, all these content creators and many more. Do we create any value for our customers? Is that a distinctive way of creating value chain? No. You and I knew that some customers, even I cannot patronize that company again. They will have lost a lot of customers. There are pending cases in the court. So going forward, the point I want to stress here is that other companies in that industry now, they have to ensure that there is training, retraining, reorientation about for all their airline hostess, their staffs, because they don't want anything that will cause reputational damage. A lot of litigations are awaiting the aircraft to the extent that the NBA too intervene, that they are going to offer a free legal service to that lady, Emerson. So we must be current about all these issues. Look at the implication of it. So we must do our own business in a way that is quite different from the customers. And we must give positive social footprints. What those companies give is negative social footprints. Dragging a customer like a criminal, or because of a minor argument. So let's look at other areas where we can do our business differently, offer value to customers, give them positive, passive impression, so that they can continue to patronize us. They can continue to use what we call WOM, WOM, word of mouth communication, referral to our customers. If our competitors offer one product, there's nothing stop us from introducing different segments, varieties to our customers in order to create value to them. In principle 4, Porter advised that the selected strategy will involve some trade-off. Trade-off. So what we call a trade-off is that it is not compulsory we use 10, 15, 20 strategies. Select alternative strategies out of the numerous strategy that will give us competitive advantage, long run return on investment, brand dominance, market dominance, goodwill, mutually benefiting customers' relationship. So we must have a trade-off. Like let me give you an example of this trade-off. In that 2020 diet, ICAN asks if the company in question, I think the name of the question is ASL, Air Spirits Limited, use principle 4. Yes, the company used principle 4 because they put in a trade-off in their strategy. And what is their trade-off? Their trade-off is this. In that airline, their company did not take passengers for Hajj, Muslim pilgrim. If you are going to Jerusalem, they don't do it. And they don't offer flights for individuals. They do for group. And that group, there is a limit of the number of group that can come from each segment. That is a trade-off. So there are many rules and strategy application that the company use. Principle 5. All the different elements in the strategy and the value chain should be linked together and reinforce each other. There should be linkage in all our strategies. You can see how we link it. Price with differentiated products, price with hybrid strategy, price with innovative products. Is that understood? there should be a linkage of all these strategies. All the strategy must not be isolated. So that one we create what we call synergy and integration of strategy to achieve whatever strategic intention that we have. And lastly, the sixth principle, Porter advised that there should be continuity of this strategic direction. We must not stop. So far the strategy is yielding positive results, it should be a going concern. Even in the accounting concept, that's what we call a going concern. So for us to remain in business, for us to remain to be competitive, all these strategies that we are using must be continuous and improve. As the strategy is used continuously, we improve on them, we evaluate them to look at the gray areas. We put in a lot of innovation. So that is the sixth principle of strategic positioning that give company competitive advantage. So the next topic that we are looking at is Porter 5 forces model. So before we look at this topic, may I ask you if the two topics that we have looked at, the strategic clock analysis and the sixth principle of corporate positioning is understood, so that we can be able to proceed to Porter 5 forces model. My scholar, I'm awaiting your response, please. Why the silence? Can I proceed then? Silence communicates. But in law, we realize that it is not at all times that silence communicates. We have some instances whereby they will use this against you, that your silence amounts to agreement. Is that understood? And we have some instances whereby they said it is not at all time that silence communicates. Okay, since there was no response, so I assume that the Bowman strategic clock analysis is understood. That we said in summary, the Bowman strategic clock analysis was formulated by Bowman in 1996. It is called a combination strategy that it requires the use of price and other strategy to create value to customers, to gain competitive advantage, and to enhance customer satisfaction. So the Bowman strategic clock analysis comprises of 6 strategies, out of which 5 are desirable strategy, and the 6th one should not be used because it will have adverse negative effects in the future. So the Bowman strategic clock strategy comprises of 1, no freak strategy. No freak strategy require selling below average products at lower price. The second one is low price strategy. It requires selling above average quality products at a lower price. The third one, hybrid strategy, means the use of 2 strategy. When I said when you are using this 2 strategy, it clarify. Let your price be constant. Price plus any strategy that you like to create value, customer satisfaction, competitive advantage, and sustainable return on investment. So the fourth strategy is differentiation strategy that require investing in innovation, technology, research and development, and new product development for us to produce a unique, standardized, and different products with different features, attributes, and benefits. Then when we have this kind of products, we can sell them at a higher price. Customers will buy. So differentiated product is for the entire market. We now have the 5 o'clock strategy, which is a differentiated focus strategy. Truly, we differentiate the product, but it's not for the consumption of the entire market, but for specific class of customers, like first class flights and many more. That is a differentiated focus strategy. So the last one is strategy that fails, that involve the use of unethical strategies. Say this strategy is not good. It can damage the reputation of the company and attract litigation. So after that, we now look at the 6 principles of Porter that can give company sustainable competitive advantage. The man said we should set a long time goals that focus on return on investment. So we should offer a value proposition, do our business in a different and distinctive way that is quite different from that of the competitors. All the strategies that we are using, there should be a trade-off in strategy. Trade-off. At the same time, we must link all this strategy and ensure continuity in strategy. Don't just change your strategy prematurely. There are some people that are doing that. They said it's wrong. Changing your strategy every day, every time, it affects your business. So with this, I think we are free to go. Okay, let's look at Porter 5 forces model. Porter 5 forces model. What you should know here is that this model is used to analyze the degree of competition in the industry or market. With the model too, we use it to analyze the attractiveness of the industry. And when we talk about the attractiveness of the industry, we are talking of how profitable the industry, the buying power of the consumers that patronize this market, the performance of existing competitors in the market, the market structure, whether it's a pure competitive market, in a monopolistic market, or many more. So above all, the model is useful in analyzing the degree of competition in the market. The Porter 5 forces model is very popular and useful framework because it is used to analyze industry attractiveness. Because no company, no investors will participate in industry that is not attractive. The industry that cannot give you high return on investment, the industry that cannot give you sustainability or survival, the industry that is hostile. So the industry attractiveness refers to how easy a business will find it to make reasonable profits. Your reasonable profits should be large enough to recover your cost of research and make excess profit. It should be large enough for you to be able to pay dividends to all the investors. And that industry, no matter how reasonable or attractive it is, the, the degree of risks attached to whatever business we want to do there should be minimized. Because most investors have low risk appetite for any investment decisions they want to partake. So Michael Porter identified 5 factors or forces that determine the strength, attractiveness, and nature of competition in an industry. So the 5 forces model that we use for the industry analysis are: 1. Threats from new entrants. Threats from the new entrants. 2. Availability of substitute products or services. 3. Bargaining power of the supplier. 4. Bargaining power of the buyer. And 5. Rivalry among major competitors. You are not expected to discuss anything more than this in exam. Even if you have read any textbook or whatever, they extended it beyond 5. Please, I advise you, I'm begging you, I'm pleading to you. Don't use it. Because globally, this model is universally accepted, and I've not seen any review on this particular model. Up to now, it's still 5-4-6 model. You can see that of recent, I can introduce a new syllabus that have been reviewed. Go and check it. It's still 5-4-6 model. Because we that we are in academics, we monitor trend development, review changes in models and theories. So the 5-4-6 model of competition and industry analysis are threats of new entrants, 2, availability of substitute products, 3, bargaining power of the suppliers, 4, bargaining power of the buyers or customers, 5, rivalry among major competitors. So let's now look at what the scholar means. So what do we call the threats from new entrants? How does it affect our investment and strategic decisions? So what are the things that we can do to minimize these threats? So the first thing that you have to know is that who are these people that Porter called new entrants? That's the first thing. Because if you don't know the new entrants, there's nothing that will tell you that will make meaning to you. And that's the reason why some students cram. When they read some books, they cannot comprehend or interpret. It will amount to cramming because we all want to pass. Nobody wants to taste or experience failure, and it will not be our portion. So threats from new entrants. The new entrants are potential competitors. Put it down. That's the name of new entrant. Potential competitors, prospective competitors. Those companies that presently they are not operating, selling in the market, but they want to be a member of that market or industry. They want to establish their brands, do business, and make profit. So prospective or potential competitors, that are the people that we call new entrants. So new entrants are potential competitors. So once we know that the new entrants are potential competitors, you see, these new potential competitors, they pose a lot of threats, and they are making spirited and intensive efforts to ensure that at all costs, they want to enter into attractive industry markets. They don't mind what it costs. And what is attracting them is the sales performance, profit performance of all existing brands in the industry. Unless if the industry is not profitable, that's the only time the new entrant will back off. But for any profitable industry, the new entrants always try to emerge. You can see the new entrants might be attracted by the high profit earned by existing competitors in the market. So Michael Porter says that please don't allow the new entrants to come. Do everything possible, humanly possible, to prevent their emergence. I now ask Porter, that Uncle Porter, why do you say this? Michael Porter informed me that, don't you know that the new entrants are poisonous to your business? He said they are poisonous to your business because by the time they emerge, they might be coming with innovative products. They might be coming with differentiated products. They might be coming with superior financial strength. They might be coming with superior strategy, that we must not allow their emergence because they will add more to the competitive pressure in the industry. I say yes. He said yes, Ali. So you don't know. Tell your students that the new entrants are poisonous again because they will snatch your customers. They will reduce your brand dominance. They will reduce your profitability. And in that market, by the time they come with their no new brands or products, they will cause switching behavior. Some customers will leave your brand and go and buy their product. They might not come back to you again. So when I asked that, what can we do, Uncle Potter? He said, Ali, tell your students that what we can do to prevent the emergence of the new entrants is for you to place a high entry barrier. He said, when you place a high entry barrier, if peradventure some of them will emerge, the number of new entrants that will emerge will be extremely low. But if there is free entry, you place a low entry barrier or you don't pay cognizance to them, that the number of new entrants that will come in, there will be high influx of new entrants into the industry. And this will affect existing companies' business performance. And you can see, he said, when the barriers to entry are low, the new entrants are able to come into the market without much difficulty because of that low barrier. But in a situation whereby we place a trade restriction, entry barrier, when the barrier to entry are high, then it is difficult for new competitors to enter a market. And all the existing competitors will not be under pressure to cut their costs and sell their product at a lower price. So Porter advised setting high entry barrier to limit the numbers of new entrants that will enter the market. So apart from this, let me give you this as added knowledge on new entrants and what Porter said about it. Apart from placing a high entry barrier to limit the emergence of new entrants, there are some major entry barriers that determine the emergence of new entrants. That means the new entrants should consider some factors before going into the industry, no matter how attractive the industry. If all these factors that I spell outside are not favorable, the new entrants will wait. They will not launch their products. The first factor they will consider that determine their emergence is economic of scale. Economic of scale. Let me just summarize this. You might not have the time to look at this word by word. So the economic of scale means that if the new entrant will have opportunity to produce in large quantity, sell to large number of customers, potential customers in the market, and they will have opportunity to have access to distributors, wholesalers that can be able to sell in mass, then the company will be encouraged to come. All because selling and producing in large quantity will give them opportunity to spread their cost of investments and fixed costs. Because if the number of customers that is willing to buy the product in the market are small, they cannot break even. So they will be discouraged. But when they have the opportunity to sell in large quantity, make huge profit, they'll be encouraged to come. Two, the capital investment required in the industry. If the capital requirement in the industry is bearable, minimal, the new entrants will come. They don't mind borrowing to augment the sweat capital they have at hand. But in a situation whereby the industry require huge amount of investment that run millions or billions, you can see the outcry of Dangote. You can see the outcry of Adeleke, the father of Davido, that invested billions of naira in electricity generation. How many people can avoid that? And the very reason why you see that all these sectors, like refinery sectors, uh, the plants, electricity generation sectors, airline sectors, these are sectors that people shy away from because of the capital and the risks involved. So the third one is access to distributors, access to distribution channels. There are a lot of new entrants that want to emerge and launch their products presently now, but they are unable to do that due to many factors. Among the factors is access to distribution channels, or because if they don't have access to distribution channels, there is no way they can quickly create brand awareness, sell more of their products, and recover their cost of investment. Majority of the distributors are always reluctant to sell a new product. That is an hindrance for them. Majority. Mostly any product that is newly launched is an infant product, newly born baby product. Distributors are reluctant to sell it because of low brand awareness. Secondly, is that some of the distributors, they have signed a bond with other existing major companies in the industry. And as a result of that bond, they cannot sell other competing products. Thirdly, some distributors are reluctant. They show apathy because they don't want to experience financial losses by committing millions of naira on a product that they don't know the degree of acceptability by the end users. So anytime they have high access to distributors, when the distributors are willing to sell their products, they'll be willing to launch the products. But when they're having difficulties in winning distributors' commitments, they have to wait till the time they gain more access to major marketing intermediaries and distributors. Another one is time to become established. This one, it takes the grace of God because just few companies that have the opportunity that they will launch their product now and the brand will quickly be known, grow in the market in time of sales and customers patronage. So if the time to establish the brand will be longer, then it will cause a lot of financial crisis for the company. As a result of that, the new entrants will not launch their products. For you to understand further, you can see in industry where customers attach great importance to branding, such as fashion industry, aside that as example, it can take a long time for a new entrant to become well established in the market. And when it takes time to become established, the cost of entry are high. So this can be time consuming and expensive for a new entrant to acquire. If it will be take a long time for our brand to be known in the market, then it will discourage us from launching the products. But if we have the industry whereby we can quickly launch our products, within 1, 2, 3 months, the awareness about the brand begin to circulate. We are seeing the reflection in the degree of customers' patronage. Even those that are not buying, they are making inquiry. Such industry is attractive to launch a product. But an industry whereby it will take a long time for your brand to compete with established brand, it discourages new entrants. Switching costs, that is another important and beautiful factor to consider. When you consider the Nigerian present economic situation, to produce a new product now, the company will spend high cost and it will be difficult to sell that product at a lower price for us to achieve our cost of investment and profit. So the switching costs If the switching cost is high, it will discourage customers from buying, and it will discourage the new entrants to launch the product. Let's go through it together. I will now explain what we call switching costs. Switching costs are the costs that a buyer has to incur in switching from one supplier to a new supplier. In some industries, switching costs might be high. For example, the cost for a company of switching from one audit firm to another might be quite high and deter a company from wanting to change its auditors. So when switching costs are high, it can be difficult for new entrants to break into a market. Okay, let me now simplify it to see what we call a switching cost. When the switching cost is high, we are telling you that the customer is leaving a product that is buying at 5,000 naira. You now want to go and switch to buy a new product that a new company just introduced at 10,000 naira. You can see that the switching cost is high. Anytime it will take the company to launch their product at a higher price, that will create a high switching cost. Such new entrants are always reluctant to launch their product. And if they launch their product, many of these products do not have a landmark breakthrough. They might be in the introduction stage for so many years without growing. But if the switching cost is low, we introduce our own soft drink at 500 naira and they are selling Coke 500 naira, Pepsi 500 naira, Biggie 500 naira, RC Cola 500 naira, American Cola 500 naira. The switching cost is the same. Customers can take the risk. It doesn't cost them anything. And if you want to do it beautifully or strategically, we can sell our own soft drink at the rate of 400 naira or 450, depending on the pricing strategy and having considered all our cost of investment and the rest. Because of that 100 naira difference or 50 naira difference, a lot of customers will patronize us if the product is quality. Anytime the switching cost is high, it discourages the customers from patronizing a new product and equally discourage the new entrants too in launching their products. Government regulations. Government regulations. So regulations within an industry or the granting of rights can make it difficult for new entrants to break into a market. Like an investor that have the resources, technical know-how, market knowledge, and many things, and they want to establish refinery business. There'll be difficulties in getting that right from the government. It's not something that you can get easily. So this might be an hindrance that can even kill the dream of the investors if he was unable to get government certificates. So government regulations discourage new entrants in many ways. And at times, apart from the license to operate, it might be that the government policy is unfavorable to them. Probably in time of the interest rate, tax rates, individualization policy. If all these government regulations or policy is unfavorable, is harsh, new entrants will not emerge. Another one is existence of monopoly. Any market or industry where there is monopoly, please don't invest, don't participate in such a market, and don't give any expert judgments or recommendation for any industry, for any company to participate, because the monopoly will take a dominatory decisions on everything in the market. Another one is market cartel and the distribution apathy. any market where there's a cartel, strong cartel, it's always difficult for the new entrants to emerge or penetrate that market. Even when they launch the market, they have to use what we call a shadow or pseudo strategy, in that the market leader, the ruling market leader, will still continue to take that leadership position. You can see the scenario that I put here, that the Cold War, I put the ongoing Cold War and cartel between NNPC and the newly established Dangote oil refinery. It takes the intervention of the federal government. Dangote refinery will have collapsed from inception. If I Dangote have to say it, there was a press conference that I listened to, and the news broker, he said, I didn't mean the refinery business collapsed. If not for the intervention of the president, he was dead. Because considering the amount of investment involved. So there are some markets like that, there is a lot of cartel, even in the areas of cement industry and many more. So it's difficult to enter this kind of industry. And when you notice that, the best that you can do is for you to have a second thought before launching your product or participating in short industry, so that it will not be a waste of resources. So with that, we are through with the threat of new entrants. The second forces is threats from substitute products. Threats from substitute products. That is the second force. So by the threats from substitute products, Michael Porter says that anytime there is a substitute product, it makes doing business unattractive. It is frustrating. It causes internal threats and market disequilibrium. He said there is a threat from substitute products when consumer can switch fairly, easily to buying alternative products. When they introduce a new product now, customers that have been buying our brand of products, you just discover that we don't see some of them, all because they have made a trial purchase to buy the newly alternative product, substitute product that have been introduced. And with the advent of technology now, we are now experiencing threat of substitute products in all industry across the globe. So we can see few examples. The threat from substitute product varies between markets and industry, but a few examples of substitute are listed below. Look at the examples here. Domestic heating system. In the domestic heating system, consumer might switch between gas fire, oil fire, and electricity fire heating devices. Even in some part of the globe now, we are now having the solar heating devices. So there are many alternatives. In the transport system, consumer can switch between air transportation, rail transportation, road transportation. In the food and beverages industry that we just mentioned now, we mentioned some competing products. So you can see in the competing product now, consumer might switch between similar products that offer the same taste and experience, such as coffee and tea, Pepsi and Coke. Is that understood? So in ICAN lecture, students can switch between online lectures and physical lectures. I discover even in these ICAN lectures now, that's the more reason why in Equity we try to give our best, top notch for you. We lecture and we equally pray for you to succeed in a way to give you value for your money, in a way for you not to experience any dissonance, the regret of ever coming to this center. All our facilitators, the management ensures that They give selfless service delivery. Because anytime you allow switching behavior, it will cost you a lot. From one customers that you lost, you can lose thousands of customers. And this one can affect the reputation, recommendation about the business. The third one is the bargaining power of suppliers. Potter said, in some industry, suppliers have considerable power. Considerable power. So when this occur, they must charge high prices that firms buying from them are unable to pass on to their own customers. And this bargaining power of suppliers, when you reach further, you will discover that most companies that gain high bargaining power, they are companies or suppliers that produce necessity products. All companies that produce necessity products, they have high bargaining power over the buyers. Like Dangote now, in the areas of all these necessity products like sugar, salt, noodles, or whatever, they are necessity products. Look at flour mix, look at UAC foods, and many more. So when you produce necessity products, you have high bargaining power. If the company is innovative and they produce a unique product, automatically you have high bargaining power because the customers will come to you. They can't see that offer in another place. If a company produce differentiated product, you can see how related all these things that we are discussing. If you produce a differentiated product, then automatically we have high bargaining power and it will give you market leader position and competitive advantage. So we should know that anytime company or supplier have a high bargaining power, they will never be at the mercy of the customers. The customers cannot dictate for them. So for you to gain this high bargaining power, the company must have good customer relationship management. The company must have total quality management, TQM. You can see the company must be innovative. Even the company must have good reputation and brand equity, brand value, brand popularity. It give you high bargaining power as a producer, as a supplier, as a firm. Opposite high bargaining power is what we call bargaining power of buyers or seller. That's the fourth force. So anytime we have customers having negotiation advantage over the buyer, negotiation advantage over the seller, we said the buyer have high bargaining power. See, buyers can reduce the profitability of an industry when they have considerable buying power. And for this one to occur, it will be in an extreme cases. Let me be fair with you. Unless we don't manage the situation very well, for a buyer to reduce our profitability. Because what I expect to do here is for us to use our professionalism and skills to ensure win-win situation. We manage such customers. Powerful buyers are able to demand lower prices or improve product specification as a condition of buying from the company. So what we are saying here is anytime the buyer or the customers have advantage over the company that we call the suppliers, the buyers will be the one that will dictate the terms and condition of contract. They will like to dictate the price, negotiate for the price they will pay. They will demand for the quality they want. They will be the one to have overriding discussion when it's come to mode of payment. They might even be demanding for installment payments if such situation is not well managed. So when we have a situation whereby the customers have a high bargaining power, particularly those customers that they are major dealers of the company, particularly those customers that they are VIP to us, center of influence, politicians, investors, such customers, we have to manage them very well and ensure that we don't lose them to our competitors. So now, Porter suggested that buyers might be particularly powerful in the following situations. One, when the volume of their purchases is high relative to the size of the supplier. This is common in the food and beverages industry, the manufacturing industry. We discover that we can see some individuals or companies or marketing intermediaries that can order for 10 trailers of lavage cement. Some can order for goods worth 200 millions from Guinness. These are powerful customers that have high bargaining power. It can equally occur when the product of rival suppliers are likely the same. That is when the product you are selling to them is the same with the alternative product that we have in the market that is being introduced by other competitors. So they can switch, they can leave your product and buy that of other alternative products that offer the same benefits and satisfaction and value for their money. The buyer's bargaining power can equally occur when the cost of switching from one supplier to another are low. Can you see it? So I can decide not to buy Pepsi and go and buy Coke. I don't lose anything, it's the same price. If I want to underwrite life insurance policy and you overcharge me, and I discover there's another company of repute that charge lower price, I can patronize that one. And that's the more reason why customers at times, when they enter the banking hall, they experience discomfort, lack of prompt attention. Some of them threats. I will close this account. I go and open an account with GT or Access Bank. What's this rubbish that you are doing? You just kept me here. No value for my time and what have you. I'm your customers. You will see that they will start begging such a customers because they know that it doesn't take you anything to move to another bank and close the account we have with them. So these are some of the various ways through which the bargaining power of the buyers increase. The lastly is competitive rivalry among major competitors. So competition within an industry is obviously determined by the rivalry between the competitors. And Porter said that it is good for competition to increase in an industry. Why? Because he said strong competition forces rival firms. Look at that statement again. That strong competition forces rival firms, companies, to offer their product to customers at a lower price. That means competition forces price to reduce. In order for a company to become relevant, retain their customers, it should get to a state that competition will force price down. And that is what we are enjoying in the telecommunication industry now. The emergence of 18 Salat, though it was purely managed, helped us to force the price down in the telecommunication industry. And you should know, under merger and acquisition, 18 Salat was acquired. It was renamed as Nine Mobile. Just a couple of days now, they don't call it Nine Mobile again. Another investor has acquired. They have changed the name to T2. So Porter suggested that competitors' rivalry might be strong in any of the following circumstances. Now you should know all these things. All this knowledge are not just for exam's sake. Even for exam, you must know that there is always high and intense competition in this situation. What are the situations? One, when the rival firms are roughly the same size and economic strength. They have the same size, the same production capacity, they have the same equal experienced staff, they both invest in innovation and technology, they operate in the same industry. So there is high degree of competition there. Competition always is always strong when there are many competitors. Yes, it's true. It is equally high and strong when there is only slow growth in sales demand in the market. That is an indication of competition. And it will tell you that the market is saturated because sales will reduce. So a sales competition is always strong when the products of rival firms are largely the same, when the products are not differentiated. So that's a Porter's five forces model for you. The Porter five forces model is used to analyze industrial attractiveness and above all to analyze the degree of competition in any industry. With the Porter five forces model, ability to use the five forces to digest the level of competition, attractiveness of the industry, and formulate strategy to cope is key to the survival of the company. So Michael Porter now says that the five forces model comprises of the threat of new entrants, those are potential competitors, availability of substitute products, the leveraging or bargaining power of the seller, leveraging or bargaining power of the buyers, and rivalry among major competitors. In fact, the rivalry among these major competitors, the reason why I equally support that increasing rivalry is good, apart from price that we reduce, is that it will force all the competing companies to be more innovative. It will increase the customer satisfaction. It will bring about socio-economic development like corporate social responsibility, creation of job, community development, and many more. New product development and satisfaction of the customers. So having a look at that, the next thing that we have is Porter generic competitive strategy. Can I proceed, please? Hello, my erudite scholars. Can I
Yeah, yes, sir.
proceed?
Yes.
Yes, sir, you can.
Okay, thank you. So we look at Porter's generic competitive strategy. Under the generic strategy, Porter suggested three strategies. So if it is three strategies, how come we are seeing four strategies here? I extended the four because based on experience, industry experience, and what companies are doing, the strategy is now four. And there are some scholars that will be agitating for that. And when you look at what we have in our slide now, you will discover that the Bowman strategic clock analysis is an application of Porter's generic competitive strategy. Because it is from this strategy, generic strategy, that Bowman borrowed the time differentiation strategy and differentiation focus strategy. You see, this generic strategy, they are strategies that companies use to achieve corporate survival. I will take that slowly. The Porter generic competitive strategy, they are strategies that companies use to gain corporate survival, particularly in a very intense competitive industry that most companies are striving for survival. One of the strategies that you can use to survive is cost leadership strategy, differentiation strategy, differentiation focus strategy, or focus strategy. So, generic competitive strategy of Porter aids corporate survival. That is one. It aids market relevance. Those companies that want to gain market relevance can use this strategy. It promotes increasing competitive advantage. This strategy that you are seeing, it assists companies in having market dominance if well to utilize. So the generic strategy comprises of one, cost leadership strategy, two, a differentiation strategy, three, differentiation focus strategy, and four, focus strategy. The only strategy that is new here that we have not talked about today is just cost leadership strategy and focus strategy. I will take that again. The generic competitive strategy of Michael Porter comprises of one, cost leadership strategy, two, differentiation strategy, three, differentiation focus strategy, and four, focus strategy. All the strategy here that we have, let me stand clear. We can use the four of them if we have the capability as a company. We can decide to use two. And we have instances whereby some companies lack the capability, competency, core competency, and internal development to use the O4. You can use one. It is one that you can use to achieve your corporate objective and profitability. Use one. So what do we mean by cost leadership strategy? The cost leadership strategy means being the lowest cost producer in the market. Being the lowest cost producer, meaning that any company that had the intention to be among those companies that sell their products at lowest price, those companies that sell their products at affordable price in the market, those are the people that we call cost leadership strategy, meaning that they want to achieve leadership position by offering their products at a low or reasonable price. The least cost means that the lower price producer can compete effectively on price. So meaning that using cost leadership strategy now, company is competing offensively on price. What we are using as a weapon to compete with others in the market is selling at moderate or lower price. So with the use of the cost leadership strategy, company can sell its products more cheaply than competitors and still make a profit at the long run. So what is the advice of Michael Porter? Listen and listen attentively now. Michael Porter now says that company with a cost leadership strategy, company that want to sell at a lower price or that have been selling at a lower price, must have excellent system of control, cost control. He said for you to use this strategy effectively, you must have cost control, budgetary control, and you should continuously plan for further cost reduction. Because if you are experiencing increasing costs, there's no way you can sell your product at a lower price and achieve your objective. He said for you to achieve the sale of a product at a lower price, you must have excellent system of cost control and you should continuously plan for further cost reduction. So we can see a cost leadership strategy is like a low price strategy or a no-free strategy on the strategic clock. To achieve the success, the company must embark on, I'm emphasizing again, the company must embark on budgetary control, do backward and forward integration, and reduction of overhead expenses. So with this that we have here, backward integration. Backward integration means that inwardly within the company should look at the areas, the likely areas where they can reduce costs. It can be in the areas of sourcing for raw materials. If the cost at which we are buying from the external suppliers is too outrageous, let our company generate some of our needed basic resources internally. It's not new. Companies are doing it. Leventis is doing it. USC is doing it. Dangote is doing it. PZ is doing it. Many companies. We discover in Agbara and some other parts of Nigeria, including outside in Nigeria, in some western part of Africa, some companies acquire acres of land that we cannot even talk of the plot of land that they have. They planted some of their basic raw materials. So internally, they are generating 40, 50, 30% of the basic raw materials needed. You just feel that they are buying from local suppliers. Some they don't even buy from local suppliers. When they consider that it is more cheaper to buy it from foreign suppliers, they buy it from foreign suppliers in order to reduce their costs. In a backward integration, the cost of training our staff, we can reduce it. Instead of outsourcing to recruitment agency, training agency, train them internally. We can use the trainer. So for us to reduce our overhead expenses, we can import or purchase innovative machines that can increase our level of output within minutes or seconds. That one will replace some manpower efforts. In forward integration, our promotional costs, distributional costs, excuse me, have to be reduced, and we don't overstarve ourselves, so that at the end of the day, our total production cost, a unit cost of each product, will reduce, and we can be able to sell at a lower price, win more customers, and gain long-term profitability. Differentiation strategy is still the same differentiation strategy that we have discussed. So he advised here, because this is where the Bowman borrowed the knowledge for his own concept. A differentiation strategy has been explained in relation to strategic clock. So for Porter, differentiation means making a product different from rival products in a way that the customers can recognize it, and the customers might be willing to pay a higher price. That higher price is what I call premium price. So the third strategy is differentiation focused strategy. So here, company produce a unique, standard, and differentiated product and sell it to specific class of customers at a premium price. We have cited example here. We even use establishments of a crèche school for physically challenged students. We use it here. We use first class air flight as an example. It's for specific class of customers. But for focus strategy, a cost leadership strategy and a differentiation strategy can be pursued in a market that is not segmented. That is not segmented. But however, many consumer markets are segmented. Just follow, I'm driving to a point. However, many consumer markets are segmented, and companies might select one or more segments as target markets for their products. When you do that, this is a focus strategy. And why do we call it a focus strategy? A focus strategy occur when a company concentrates on selling their products to a narrow segment of the market and customers. So with this focus strategy is used by a company that cannot serve and meet the needs of the larger market. In fact, they don't even have the resources to do so. They don't have the competency, capability, core competency, innovative knowledge to meet the total demand of the entire market. Since this has been known, what the company do is that they now create a niche for themselves. They identify the segment of the market, though small. That small must reflect in your explanation. The company decide to create a niche by focusing in serving smaller segments of the market with their limited resources and capability. So instead of running after the entire opportunity in the market and at the end of the day not gaining any productive benefit, they will rather focus on small niche, small part of the market. They direct their resources, their products there, and sell to the customers. Because they are
Hello,
selling,
sir.
I'm with you, man.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, man.
Sir, please, what's the objective of this portal generic in a
The objective
nutshell?
of this, okay, thank you. The objective of this portal generic is for the company to be able to identify suitable strategy that they can use to gain relevance in the market, survival, continuity, and profitability. And the objective is for you to be able to have strategy that you can use at the business level. Because we have a lot of people that are just doing business for the sake of it. They don't have directions. So with this portal strategy now, you now discover that we have multiple of strategies that a company can use. Like cost leadership strategy now. That is the secret of some companies. You can see online now, anytime you go online, you see Temu, you see this, you see that. What Temu is now selling to us is that their product is the cheapest. It's a cost leadership strategy. It's a strategy that has been used in the past and you still have its relevance up to now. That if you want to use cost leadership, that means you have in mind of selling your products at the lowest obtainable price. This was the pricing strategy that the likes of Promasidor used. The pricing strategy that Techno used when they launched their products. Selling at penetration price, low affordable price. And once customers know you for that, it's not a matter of doing juju, they will rush you. Customers will buy from you because they discover that it is affordable. When you discover now that apart from the, would I say bread, that being the major source of income to Boku Mart, you discover that Boku is using this cost leadership strategy. Just try it. When you compare the price at which they are selling their own beverages, you can't see this price within the street. You can't see it in the neighboring supermarkets and the rest. In fact, some companies, some individual or retailers, petty traders and what have you, even some supermarkets are buying from Boku, they go and stock it at that price. So with that lower price, they are experiencing high sales volume. The turnover rate is high. That is what the scholar is telling you. The ability to sell at a lower price. And I tell you that this lower price is difficult to achieve because if the company cannot have budgetary control, if the company cannot reduce their overhead expenses, and I mentioned to you, even your manpower, the number of staff you have to ensure that we reduce it. It's not something that somebody will now call you, Oga, pastor say I should give you all these CVs. If you can assist as part of your ministry, some of our members in church or mosques. No, because it will increase your overhead expenses. So the man is saying having budgetary control, backward integration, forward integration, reduction of operational expenses, reduction of distribution expenses, reduction of promotional expenses, and other logistic in the supply chain. It will give you total reduction in the cost of producing your products so that you can be able to sell at a lower price and gain landmark profitability. In fact, some of your competitors' customers will come and buy from us with the use of lower price. So in the differentiation strategy, Michael Porter was the first to discover differentiation strategy. He said the ability to produce and offer a unique and different product with different features, benefits, give you commanding control in the market. And with this differentiation strategy now, you'll be competing offensively without price. Because what you are using to compete with others now is innovation. Because we have come with innovative products, a differentiated product. And that is what we are seeing in many industry. Even in the telecommunication industry, the mobile industry, you can see the life cycle of the product that we are buying now is short. It is intentionally done by all the companies operating in that industry because technology is changing. If you buy Infinix 60i, Samsung, whatever, iPhone Pro 16, within some couple of weeks or months, another one is in the market because technology is revolutionizing business. Ability to differentiate your product, give you commanding benefit in the market. And we have differentiation focus strategy too. Come out with innovative products. Tailor it to target categories of customers. A good example, up to now, I don't know if what's the name of this politician that like luxury things in Kogi? Uh, it escaped my mind.
Dino
Terry
Melai.
Wires.
Who? What
Terry
did he?
Wires or Dino
Dino
Malaya.
Melai. Dino Melai.
Yeah, Dino Menaye. God bless you. I clap for you, Dino Menaye. Maybe I would even say maybe he's the only one that is now coming with Tesla electric cars. The Tesla electric cars is a differentiated focus product. It's not for everybody. In fact, how many people can even avoid it? So when we produce innovative products and tailor it to certain categories of customers, we dominate the market. We make huge lot of profits. And that is exactly what we are talking about. A focus strategy is used mostly by upcoming companies, infant companies. In fact, there are some companies that they have been in existence for a longer time. But as what we have it, because of competition or limited resources, they cannot compete with all these mighty multinational companies. As a result of that, they limit their focus to serving a smaller segment of a market. So they limit their focus because they don't have the financial resources, they don't have the technical know-how, they don't have the innovative ability. Their capability is limited.
Sir,
And the number of customers they are serving too, they are geographically concentrated. You can use focus strategy. And with you,
good morning, sir. Thank you
morning
so
man.
much for the class. I have question on this focus strategy.
Okay.
The focus strategy is talking more about focusing on small segment of the market. Do the firm, like I mean supplier right now, can they also like put their price on a stable price, maybe like a high price, while still focusing on that small segment, or do they also have to, because they don't have all the technical know-how and capabilities, do they also have to go through the cost reduction process while still focusing on the smaller segment of the market, or they will just have to domicile the small segment of the market and then put their price on a high?
Okay, thank you. You see, with the use of this focus strategy, we have to be mindful of our pricing strategy, as you rightly said. We won't say because we have limited financial challenges now, we have the quest to expand our business, we now unnecessarily exploit our customers by selling at a scheme price. That is a damaging control. It can affect the company. So companies that are using focus strategy, you see, majority of them too, it's not that maybe they don't have technicality of area of specialization, but they are just emerging companies that they are upcoming, and they discover that presently now they don't have the financial strength. Presently now, they don't have the competitive strength to compete with other larger companies in the industry. So what we are going to do is that we have to look at our areas of specialization, study the entire market. When we study the entire market, look at the portion of the market where our strategy resources can fit in. Identify the needs of the customers in that segment. Now look inwardly. Do you have the resources that are expatriate and product to satisfy this segment? If yes, then we focus on that segment. Build relationship with the customers. And the more we are serving smaller segments, we have more closer relationship with the customers. So going forward, we build good customers relationship. And the profit that we are now realizing, we plow back some of this profit for expansion. Because it's not compulsory that we stay in this segment for decades. As the company is realizing profit, we expand too. We become more innovative. And the question that you ask, that what Porter is saying, in fact, please note that that advice is for you and I. Even in our home, in the marital status and what have you, we use it. Because what is happening now in Nigeria, the rich also cry. To answer live now is difficult. So we now discover that the advice of Porter for companies using cost leadership is an advice for you and I too. Because we have to have financial discipline, budgetary control, all these loss through expenses and what have you. We have to limit it. Is that understood? So that advice for budgetary control, reduction of overhead expenses, backward integration, forward integration, all companies are advised to use it, including companies that are using focus strategy. Because a focus strategy company must embark on lean manufacturing. By lean manufacturing, LEAN, that means proper waste management, effective logistic and supply chain management. In fact, the focus strategy company, they are the one that need reduction of overhead expenses and total operating costs. Because if they are doing business at a higher price, higher cost, then how would they grow? It will take a longer time for the company to expand. So, but presently we use focus strategy because that is the limit of what we can do. Okay, let's look at that educational sector that we use the other side. In our environs, we discover that all the investors that have schools, they have creche, nursery and primary schools, secondary school, some have polytechnics, some have technical school, we even have some like Caleb in K2 or whatever here that have universities. But our own company, infant company, we are just established, we are just coming up. Since we cannot compete with all these people, we just focus in crèche and primary school. Can you see the example? Crèche and primary school. As our company expand, God is blessing us. The little profit that is coming in, we don't mismanage it. Our people are doing very well. That will speak for us. The more people we have in the crèche and nursery school, then the more profit we realize based on their academic excellence. Then we can now approach the government over time for us to seek for license, operating license to establish secondary school. That's a good example of focus strategy. All that is understood. So, but in your focus strategy, you must identify a segment that you can serve better within the limit of the resources you have presently. Is there any question on that? Again?
No, sir.
Okay. So let's now look at vision and mission statement. Vision and mission statement. We call it V and M. Vision and mission. The vision will come first. VISION. It will come first before the mission statement. So what do we call a mission statement? A mission statement is the purpose of an organization and the reason for its existence. Mission statement is a formal. You have to know that it is a formal and public statement. It is for the consumption of the entire public. And that's the reason why if you enter some company, you will see a frame. They will put our vision, our mission statement. Some companies will even put their core values. In all companies you see it. Even in Alausa here you see it. If you check Google now, just put the mission and vision statement of any company. It's online. That's the reason why you say it's a formal and public statement. Apart from bringing a public statement, it shows the blueprint and deep intention of the company. The blueprints, what the company stands for, their deep intention, how they intend to operate and impact in the life of the society, the stakeholders, and their customers. A mission statement describes the organization's basic function in the society. That basic function will be known in terms of the product and services that they want to offer to the customers. So our mission statement, it describes what the organization does, their present capability, who is served, those are the stakeholders, and what makes the organization to be unique. Mission statements discuss about that. And we should equally know that this mission statement that we have been seeing, mission statement, the mission statement of this company is quite different from another. So a mission statement differentiates an organization from others by explaining its broad scope of activities, its products, and technology to be used. Above all, this is very, very essential to know. A mission statement should be a clear and short statement. So according to Peter Drucker suggested that a mission statement should answer the following fundamental questions. So all mission statements of companies answer these fundamental questions. What is our business? Mission statements must answer, what is our business? The second question is, what is our value to our customers? What is our value to our customers? The third one is, what will be our business, or what should our business be? So all mission statements should answer this. What is our business? Who are our customers? What is our value to our customers? What should our business be? So what are the features of vision statements? They can ask you in exam, use the word features. If they don't use the word features, they can use the word attributes. If the word attribute is not used, they can use the word characteristics of a mission statement. So the features of a mission statement are this. One, the mission statement must be feasible and attainable. That means we must not set a mission statement that is too outrageous. Two, the mission should be clear enough. So there should be clarity of purpose in the mission statement. And it should be easy for all the stakeholders and the public to interpret. Three, the mission statement of the company should be inspiring for the management, the staff, and the society. It should be inspiring. It should even inspire the investors. The mission statement, another characteristic is that it should be precise. That precise, see the meaning that I put there? It should neither be too broad nor too narrow, precise. It must focus on limited goals. It should not be too lengthy. And lastly, the mission statement should be unique and distinctive. So all the characteristics of mission statement are not limited to this. There are more that we can put. So we now come to vision statement. A vision statement identifies where the organization wants or intends to be in the future, or where it should be in order to meet the need of the stakeholders. We take that again. A vision statement identifies where the organization wants or intends to be in the future, or where it should be to best meet the needs of the stakeholders. So in summary, this is the meaning that a vision statement is the destination of the firm. Destination of the firm. The projection into the future. The business the company wants to do, their scope of operation, the technology, and what they want to achieve. So it is this vision statement that will tell us the dream of the founders. And when I say the dream of the founders means that the dream of those shareholders that founded the company. That is what we call the vision statement. So it is describe the dreams and aspiration for future goals. Let's look at the vision statement of Microsoft. For instance, Microsoft vision is to empower people through great software. Empower people through great software anytime, any place, or any device. And they have achieving that throughout the whole world. Throughout the whole world, they empower people with technology, Microsoft knowledge, Word knowledge, and the rest. So what is the Walmart vision? The Walmart vision is to become worldwide leaders in retaining. So all companies have their vision statement. MTN have their own, First Bank have their own, Access Bank have their own, Dangote have their own, McDonald's have their own. Even all states, governments, they have their own. So vision statement is the dream of the founder and the destination of the company. So it is the vision statement that gave back to mission statement. So from mission statement now, we can now have the company objective, the company goals, the company procedures, the company policy, and strategy. That is the trend and the flow. So what are the attributes of vision statement? The way we have looked at that of our mission is the same attributes. The attribute of vision statement is that it must not be ambiguous. It must not be ambiguous. 2, it must be harmonized with organization culture and values. I think that escaped my mind when I'm explaining mission statement for you. Both mission statement and vision statement comprises of the core values, philosophy, and culture of the company that we must not compromise. So another attribute of a vision statement is that vision statements should be shorter so that they are easy to memorize. So the goals and objectives that we have here, the goals and objectives of the company must align with their vision statement and mission statement. So the goal of a company are the broad areas or the broad overall things that the company intend to achieve in both the short, medium, and long time. So the goals make missions more prominent and concrete. Goal of a company. Again, the goals of a company make their mission statement to be more prominent and concrete. The goals of the company coordinate and integrate various functional and departmental areas in an organization. Because the reason being that once that goal has been set, it has become a pathway through which the organization direction and the resources will be deployed. And collectively, we must work towards achieving the goals. A well-formulated goals of a company must have the following attributes or characteristics. 1, the company goals must be precise and measurable. 2, the company goals must look after critical and significant issues. That means the goal of a company must address critical issues that are fundamental to the existence of the company and their sustainable growth. C, the goal of a company must be realistic and challenging. That goal must be challenging. It must create for the company. D, the goals must be achieved within a specific time frame, because that's the only way the goals can equally be challenging too. So that won't be complacent or relax. We must have a time frame within which we want to achieve certain goals. Is it 1 to 2 years, 2 to 3 years, 3 to 4.5 years, 5 to 7 years? So that goals must be achieved within a specific time frame. Maybe short time, medium time, long time. So the goal must include the financial and non-financial components. But when it comes to objective, so one thing that we have to know about objective is that the objective of a company must fall within the framework of SMART. The objective that is specified by the strategic planner should be SMART. Because when it falls outside this, it creates unnecessary crisis for the company. So even the individual objective must fall within the framework of SMART. SMART. Meaning that you and I objective and that of the corporate organization. Our objective must be specific. The objective, apart from being specific, must be measurable. The objective of the company must be attainable. Fourthly, the objective must be realistic, and the objective must be time bound. It must have a reasonable time within which we want to achieve our stated objectives. So what are the significance of vision and mission statement? The importance or significance of vision and mission statement. Some of the significance of vision and mission statements are: one, to provide and instill sense of belonging to our employees. The vision and mission statement, I've told you, comprises of the culture of the company, their philosophy, core values, ethical values and norms. All employees in the company must share the same values and philosophy. That's what number one is telling us. Two, B, to spell out the contents in which the organization operates. That means to inform all our investors and all our employees of the organization climate and scope of operations. The vision and mission statements are important because it serves as a focal point for individuals to identify themselves with the organization process. D, it helps to translate the objective of the company into work structure. Fantastic. The broad goals, the broad objectives, the dream of the founders can only be translated into work structure through the vision and mission statement. And that's the reason why we say it must not be too ambiguous or complicated, so that we can be able to clarify and simplify this to all our staffs. So we have it here too. It provides a philosophy of existence to all the employees, and they must imbibe with this philosophy. Any staff that go contrary will be fired, because we don't compromise the company vision, mission statement, philosophy, culture, and core value. So who decide vision and mission statements? We should know that the vision and mission statement is decided by the top management of the organization. And by that top management, we mean the board of directors. So those are the people that decide the vision and mission statement. The strategic apex. It remains back called them strategic apex. The board of directors, the shareholders, the CEO, he said they are regarded as strategic apex of the company. So having a look at that, we refresh on level of strategy. Because this level of strategy, we mentioned it when we start our lecture newly, our first lecture. Because of explanation, we have mentioned levels of strategy. So in the levels of strategy, I want us to know that there are 3 levels of strategy as postulated by Johnson, Scholes, and Whittington. Johnson, Scholes, and Whittington identify 3 levels of strategy. The 3 levels of strategy are corporate level strategy, 2, business level strategy, and the third one is functional strategy. Corporate level strategy, business level strategy, and functional strategy. So the corporate level strategy address the question, what businesses should we be in? And this decision is not taken at the middle level or lower level. It's taken at the top management level. The business level strategy address the question, how should we compete in each selected business? Why the functional strategy, that one address the question, for each business function, how can the various departments function contribute to competitive advantage? So the corporate strategy that we mentioned as number one, the corporate strategy is concerned with deciding which industry, which businesses should our company participate in order to achieve our broad goals and objectives. So with this corporate strategy, the decision to decide which industry to participate is made by the top management. It is the top management that have the decision on which industry to participate. What will be our scope of operation? That is our competitive scope. Which resources are we using? Who is going to be our target customers? Their corporate level strategic decision. And those decisions are being decided by the board of directors. So what are the elements of a corporate strategy? The elements of a corporate strategy concern deciding the purpose of the entity. Why are we in existence? That one will have been clearly stated in our mission statement. Another element in the corporate strategy is that matching the choosing business activities to the external environment of the entity and to its available resources. Once we decide our scope of operation, the industry to operate, we must be able to align our resources to the industry where we are operating. You know, our resources that I mean means our manpower, money, machinery, methodology, capability, information, competency, technology, and innovation. We should be able to align it to our business, and it should give us opportunity to adapt or overcome environmental challenges. That is what that number two is telling us. Number three is that another element of corporate level strategy is matching the purpose and activities of the organization to the expectations of the owner, meaning that all the resources must be effectively utilized. Our technology, innovation, capability must be invested in a way for us to achieve greater success and meet the expectations of the owners. Because the expectations of the owners that we call the shareholders are for the company to be innovative, for the company to be competitive, for the company to generate high return on investment and capital employed. Part of the expectation of the owner is for the company to have goodwill. So in anything that we are discussing on corporate level strategy, owner's expectation is very, very essential. Another element of the corporate level strategy is matching the purpose and activities of the organization to the expectations of the stakeholders. You know, we have so many theories like that. We have shareholders theory, we have stakeholders theory, and we have a lot of school of thought. One that says that the priority of the board of directors is to maximize the shareholders' wealth and profit alone. While some other school of thought says no, we must factor in the contribution of the stakeholders. And as a result of that, they must be duly recognized and compensated. So this number 4 is now saying that we match the purpose and activities of the organization to the expectation of other stakeholders in the organization. So it's talking about this number 3, that we must not just focus in serving the shareholders. We must as well see to the satisfaction and meeting the expectation of the stakeholders. Those are the employees. Our employees are many more. So the business strategy, business level strategy. The business level strategy is also called competitive strategy. And the major focus of the business level strategy that we regard as competitive strategy is concerned with how each business activities within the entity contribute towards the achievement of corporate strategy. So the major priority in the business level strategy is that we want to see that each SBUs, the SBU means strategic business unit, contributes immensely towards the achievements of the company goals in the industry. So the business level strategy too focus on the contribution of all the various functional departments towards the achievement of the broad objectives. Under the business level strategy, Michael Porter advised, you can see, according to Porter, he said a successful competitive strategy must be based on either cost leadership strategy or differentiation strategy. He advised company that in your business level strategy is not imposing it. He advised you that aside all the strategies that you have in mind, that companies should please consider what are we considering? The use of cost leadership strategy and differentiation strategy. He said if these two are used very well, it gives us competitive advantage and ability to operate without crisis in the industry. So the third one is functional strategy. Functional strategy is the strategy or organizational plan adopted by each functional unit. What mean functional unit? That is marketing department, production unit or department, finance unit, human resources unit, and many more. So the purpose of the functional strategy should be to support the business strategy and corporate strategy of the organization. So that at the functional level, all these departments that we mentioned, marketing, production, finance, human resources, logistic department, engineering department or unit, all of them must integrate their functional activities. Because no department can single-handedly work and achieve the entire broad goals or objective of the company. There must be synergy. So they must work collectively, harmoniously, towards achieving the broad goals and strategy of the company and give it landmark commanding competitive advantage in the industry. So let's say lastly, we look at level of planning. Level of planning, that one is a very common thing that we know. In the level of planning, our focus should be to know the three types of planning level that we have. So according to Anthony, he identified three levels of planning within an organization. What are the three levels of planning? One, strategic planning. Strategic planning. I've told you not quite long, and I've emphasized and re-emphasized that anything strategic planning is being done by the strategic apex, top management of the company. Please know. The strategic planning involves identifying the objective of the entity and plan for those objectives, mostly over longer time. Anything strategic planning is a long time planning from 5 years and above. Please note that. So strategic planning is a long time planning, and strategic planning normally cover both business strategy and functional strategy. But when it's come to tactical planning are short-time plans short-term plans. In some instances, we see companies are extending it to medium-term plans, but it's not long-time, unlike strategic planning. The third one, operational planning. The operational planning, they are detailed planning of activities, often at the supervisory level or junior management level. Some of the operational planning, some covers day-to-day operational activities, some covers weekly operational activities or monthly operational activities. That's what Ken said. Try. Hello? Please, do you still have the slide? Or I should share it?
Reshare it, sir.
Share, sir.
Okay, thank you. So the rational planning is a holistic planning that is done by the top management. We call it a holistic planning because it has a formal and logical process that the company will pass through. And it is holistic because it requires major strategic plan, not just minor plans. So you can see here that the rational model of strategic planning is a top-down formal approach to strategic planning. When you see top-down, that means it is the responsibility of the people at the top, the CEO, the board of directors, the shareholders. The decision on this one will now be passed to the middle level manager. From the middle level manager, those people at the lower level manager will have access to those information once it is disseminated. So rational planning is a formal strategic plan that is prepared at a senior management level. And it covers what? It covers a period of perhaps 5 or 10 years. And why do we call it a rational planning? Why does it require that formal process that I inform you? It is called rational planning model because it is a logical, systematic planning and management process that require the following: position analysis. Rational planning requires position analysis of the present activities, operational efficiency, competitive advantage, and our market position with that of our major competitors. It requires making strategic choice from the options available, making strategic choice. Which industry are we operating? What strategy are we using? Is it internal development strategy, market penetration strategy? Are we to use cost leadership strategy, differentiation strategy, differentiation focus strategy, or we embark on diversification? It requires a lot of strategic choices, and it entails proper implementation of the strategy and in turn evaluation of that implemented strategy. These are some of the things that strategic and rational planning model require. The second approach to strategic planning is free-wheeling opportunistic model. Free-wheeling. One of my professors calls it a dancing strategy model. Because with a free-wheeling opportunistic approach to strategic decision making is that there is no formal requirement. There is no requirement at all for formal strategic planning. It is situations that warranted the strategic approach that we use. Some might be emergent. You can just try that. So when some opportunity comes, we quickly rub mind on what to do. When some threat comes, we quickly rub mind on what we can do because we don't have formal plan for it. It's an uncertainty that we don't plan for. So when uncertainties occur, then to cushion for that emergency and reduce the business risks or tap the opportunity, we use a free-wheeling approach. You can quickly constitute a committee that will look into that situation at time. So logical incremental model, that's the third one. This view of strategic planning is that effective strategic emerge as a series of strategy for subsistence within the organization, one at a time. So the logical incremental model, this one require improvements in our strategic plan. In the logical incremental model, it is the situation or the prevailing market conditions or environmental dynamism that normally bring this logical incremental model. It will now force the management to review their policy, their strategies, and goals. For instance now, in the logical incremental model, let's assume today is Sunday. By tomorrow, very early tomorrow, there is a change in government policy with respect to VAT or interest rates or policy on importation or exportation or offshore business. So automatically, the company have to call what we call EGM, Extraordinary General Meeting, because they don't have to wait till the time they do AGM for this. The board of directors have to meet. It might require calling the external consultant to look at the government's newly stated policy, the implication of our business, our continuous existence, what and what can be done. This one might require some slight redress or adjustments in the policy of the company. And if it do not have any effect on our business now, then we can continue. But mostly, it will have effect and will require slight adjustments to our policy in the company. So that is what we call incremental, logical incremental model. The logical incremental model is a view of strategic planning that effective strategies emerge as a series of strategies for subsistence. Circumstances will bring about adjustments, reduction, removal, or addition to our strategy. And this thing is not an holistic thing. It comes one at a time and not part of the overall coordinated plans. It comes as a result of emergent situation. So since it is emergent, new strategies are therefore devised and reviewed. That's what we call logical incremental model or strategy. So with this, we have come to the end of our today's lecture. So I really, really appreciate your commitment. God will crown your efforts. Is there any question, please? Any question? The three approaches to strategic planning. Don't forget, we have rational planning model, free-winning opportunistic model, and logical incremental model. The three levels of planning are strategic planning, which is long time, tactical planning, which is short time or medium time plans or objective, operational planning, those are daily, weekly, or monthly planning. So we talked about the levels of strategy, and I inform you that we have three levels of strategy, which is corporate level, corporate strategy level, business strategic level, and functional strategic level. So again, in our vision and mission statement, I inform you that a vision statement refers to the destination of the company. It is a projection into the future. It is the dream of the founders. And that vision statement gives us the pathway through all other major corporate decisions like mission statement, policy, procedures, objective, goals revolve. So any mission statement of the company should be concise. It should be aspiring. The mission statement is born by the vision statement. And this mission statement must align with the company vision. There must not be any contradiction. The mission statement comprises of the company policy, philosophy, core values. And the mission statement answers the question, what is our business? What is our value to the customers? What should our business be? But when it's come to vision statements, since it's the destination of the company, vision statement answer the question, where are we going? That is the question that the vision statement answer. So apart from that, we discuss on the Porter's generic competitive strategy. And the generic competitive strategy comprises of 4 strategies that give company competitive advantage in any industry where they operate. The 4 strategies are A, cost leadership strategy, B, a differentiation strategy, C, differentiation focus strategy, C, a focus strategy. So I use that as a summary of what we discussed today. So thank you so much. We meet next weekend.
Thank you, sir.
Any question before we call it a day? Okay, in view of no question, we meet in peace next weekend. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.